Good morning, everyone. We are going to show you how to take apart and how to get a key fob to function properly on a 2006 Chevy HHR. Um, just so y'all know, this remote is actually fully functional, has no issues, and we're going to show y'all how to take it apart and how to make it work again. Please be advised that this may not work for everybody, but it did work for me. Okay, on this remote, this is a key fob for a 2006 and 2011 Chevy HHR. There has been symptoms in the past that I've seen on my vehicle, including others, about how when they push the unlock or the unlock button, it will not do anything at all. And sometimes the panic button won't work, and even will the auto start. And there's actually sometimes that it will work out of the random blue. So here we're going to show you how to actually fix this problem and how to diagnose it. Okay, on these vehicles, when you actually push the unlock button, your lights or nothing will operate. Sometimes if you do the lock button, it will do the same thing, and later on that day, let's say a couple hours, you'll keep pushing it, and it will just start working as far as the unlock and the lock button. And sometimes the auto start will also work, and it could be another day where it will just go back to working properly all day and will give you a problem, then the next day it can. Okay, on these remotes, you have a little notch here that people don't realize. There is a notch here. As you can tell, this one is already somewhat taken apart. And these things are really simple. What you need is a tool set like this. It doesn't matter which type of tool set you could be. It could be a Dollar Tree brand. It could be a Hart brand from Walmart. It could be anything. It could be your tool set for your eyeglasses. But as you know, these are the sizes that it comes with. And there's no screws on this thing. It's just a clip-on. But you will need what's called like a really small flathead screwdriver. That's what I'm using here. But something this small is perfect. And what you need to do is you need to get like down here on the bottom of this notch and just pry it up a little bit, and it will pop open. So what you do is, once you fully get it open, it takes two hands to open this thing. Once you open it, it pops open just like that. And as you can tell, it's open. Now this thing is actually 4 pieces. 1, you got the outside housing. 2, the rubber buttons, and 3, the chip, and 4, the outside, the bottom housing piece. Now, the most common problem with these remotes is mainly these little rubber buttons usually tend to wear really quickly over time. This normally causes the remote not to function properly. Like, you can keep hitting it, and it won't do nothing. Then there'll be a day it would work just fine with no problem. Mainly my issue has been, and I've seen on a pretty good bit of other Chevy HHRs, where it's always the lock and the unlock button. But the auto start and the panic button will seem to work fine. So my experience was last year I actually replaced the whole entire housing only, which is like between $12.95 to like $15 for a 2-pack of key fob housings. And all you would really do is just use all the new pieces and just switch the actual key fob's chip over to the new housing, and it would work fine for about a year or so, and the problem will persist again. So the easiest thing to do at first is what you need to do is check the battery. And as you can tell, this is what the chip looks like. These are the actual buttons on the actual chip. On the other side is the battery. These batteries are actually a CR 2032. I'm using a different brand because this is the brand that actually came with the key fob. I usually recommend Energizer in these because they last a little longer. But you just pop this up a little bit and you just pull the battery out. It's also in, once you put everything back together, if the key fob works properly, then there's your problem. Then it means there's nothing wrong with this key fob. If you put the new battery in and it still gives you an issue, then there's a possible chance your key fob could be bad, and it's mainly just this. And this is usually 98% guaranteed that it will work properly. It's never 100% because they always go bad within a year, and I don't know why. If you use your key fob a lot, it will tend to wear more. But the harder you push these down, I'm thinking the more it wears. And also check the chip and be sure there's no type of wear on it. Like, make sure there's no burnt corrosion or any brown waters corrosion. Mainly, check for water damage. Check for like any scratches or any acid leaks or anything like that. And as you can tell on this one, the only problem I really see with this one is that there's a little burnt mark right here. Now, I haven't had any problems yet, but I don't know if that's just a soldering joint, which I don't think it is. Because if you look at this side's perfectly fine. And this side is not. So this could be why you have a functionality problem. And if it hasn't yet, it will turn into one. So you could try to clean that up with a wire brush or something and see if that's just some type of residue. And if it comes off nice and clean and everything's fine, then afterwards, and it functions properly even with the new battery or even with your original, then the chip's the problem. But if you feel safer on just buying a brand new key fob with the chip, they're like, I think they're like between $14 a piece to almost like 25 to 30 bucks for two of them. If you go on eBay, you can get two of them for about 14, let's say under $20. But you'd have to take it to a locksmith to get it done. If you go to a locksmith and buy the key fob and the key through them, it's $150 included with the programming. Now, if you end up buying just the key fob for like 14 bucks for like a pack of them with the chip, they will only charge you the $80 just to program it. That's even with the new key. Now, if you just if you don't need a second key and you just want to buy and you just want the key fob, then it'll be cheaper. Now, they do have two choices through locksmith. If you just want to buy it through locksmith, if you want just the key and not the remote, it's only like 75 bucks for a key only. But for the remote and the key, it's $150 including programming. Because the key itself actually has a chip in it too. So that's why they charge so much. And I know, yes, they're expensive. Places like Ace Hardware, Walmart, stuff like that, they won't even make a key because they can make a key, but they'll charge you about $80 to $100 for it because they have to program it. Which I don't think they have the machine to really do it. But when I called Locksmith about it, they told me $150 for a new key with the remote, even with the programming. Or you could buy you could just buy the key itself for 75 bucks. Or you could just go order the key fobs, yourself, and all of them will be charged an $80 fee to program it. And I only have one key. So yeah, be sure this thing is good. But usually these burnt marks are a sign of a problem or this residue, whatever. But once you get done with it, you just flip it back over. Make sure this battery side is down. And put it back in there in the same exact way. And make sure these buttons go the same way. Like, it only goes on one way. Technically it goes on like that. Then you got to be sure that your buttons are not going to be squished in at any time. Usually it only takes like one hand in there, it's back together. Mine was done like a year ago and it's a little faded, but it still works. So I hope this video helps on how to get your key fob to work on your vehicle. Now please also keep in mind, if your key fob is not operating at all with the new battery or with the replacement of the key fob housing, there's a possible chance that the key fob could be completely dead and it is no longer fully functional, or it could be a computer problem with your car and it might need to be reprogrammed. Now please also note that if you got a brand new one or you got a used one from another vehicle from a junkyard, it will not work unless it's fully programmed. It has to be fully programmed before you can use it onto your vehicle because it goes by VIN number. So please be advised, if you buy one brand new, if you get a used one, they have to be reprogrammed before they will actually work for your car. So technically, if that's what you did, it's not going to work, and there's going to be no signs of it being a dead key fob. So I would do that first to be sure it's going to operate correctly. If you buy a new one, you still have to get it programmed for it to work on your car, regardless. But if you're just having problems with your buttons not working, but the key fob actually works, best to replace the battery and switch the chip over to the new key fob housing. And if everything's fine after that, then there's your problem. This is compatible up to the 2006 to the 2011 model. With the 2.2s, I'm not for sure, but this is operational for a 2.4. And always be sure you get a small screwdriver set. It's the best thing to use to open this. You don't want to use any fatter type of flathead screwdrivers because you could damage the housing. You could crack it and break it because these are plastic. And this is the original GM remote. Well, the remote itself, I mean the inside parts are the original GM, but the outside is aftermarket. So feel free to comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I can help you out the best as I can. I do have other videos about these remotes on how to operate them, as far as how to do the auto start and the panic mode button and all that other stuff. You can check that out. And I hope that this video helps, and y'all have a great one.